Hello, everyone, and welcome. Whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening where you are, I'm delighted to have you join us for today. Welcome to the 2025 OASIS Annual General Meeting. My name is Gershon Jansen, and I have the honor of serving as the chair of the OASIS Board of Directors. It's wonderful to see a good turnout for this important event. This meeting is held annually, conduct the official business of the corporation, review our performance of the past year, and provide you, our valued members, with insights into OASIS and its accomplishments and exciting new initiatives. As we move through the agenda today, we encourage you to participate actively. And if any questions arise or if you have any motions or ballots to propose, please enter them in the question panel of the Zoom interface. Our team will be monitoring and will ensure your input is addressed during the Q&A section at the end of this meeting. During that time, I will also guide us through the requirements for conducting any official voting business. Lastly, I'd like to mention that this meeting is being recorded and the presentation will be made available to all members following the event. Thank you once again for joining. Let's get started. Next slide, please. So before we dive into the details, let me give you a quick overview of what we have planned for today. We'll start by walking you through the 2024 annual report, where we'll touch on key topics such as membership trends, community accomplishments, and provide a look at our financials and budget. In addition, I'll speak to milestone anniversaries and new technical committees and open projects that promise to drive further innovation and collaboration within OASIS. Before we move on, I'd like to introduce Kathy Mayo-Figgenbaum, our Chief Financial Officer, who will be giving an overview of our financials a little later on. And a special mention to Jane Harnard, our Manager of Events, and Mary Beth Minto, our Content Manager, who are working behind the scenes to make today's event run smoothly. Next slide. I'd like to take a moment first to highlight some recent changes within OASIS. First of all, we are very pleased to welcome 2 new members to our team since the beginning of this year. Rita Petty has joined us as Director of Business Development and Partnerships. And we have Ingrid Rice-Glass joining us as Program Manager for Community Engagement and Project Coordination. They both bring strong understanding of our industry, along with valuable experience and fresh perspectives. And we are excited to have them on board and help support the OASIS community. Next slide. And as with all organizations, we have had to say goodbye to some of the most familiar faces at OASIS. I think it's fair to say that nearly everyone in our community has interacted with them, met them, spoke them, or seen them speak at one of the events. All 3 have now entered in a well-earned retirement. Carol Geyer, our previous Director of Business Development, has been working with OASIS since its founding in 1993, an incredible 32 years of service. Carol brought countless new and exciting initiatives, both large and small, to the organization and was a driving force behind our growth. Scott McGrath, our Chief Operating Officer, served OASIS for 25 years. His steady and dedicated leadership helped guide the consortium through decades of change and expansion. And of course, Paul Knight, one of our technical committee administrators. He retired after more than 2 decades of service. He's known for his precision and unwavering support to our community, and Paul has left a lasting impact. We celebrate their careers and thank them for their invaluable contributions and deep commitment to the OASIS community. I also would like to take a moment to recognize Jim Cabral, one of our fellow board directors, who graciously agreed last year to serve as the interim executive director of OASIS during a period of transition. His term in that role concluded in March 31st this year. We extend our sincere thanks to Jim for stepping up into this important leadership position. His guidance and expertise were instrumental in helping the organization navigate an important period. And we are very grateful for his commitment and service. Next slide. As part of today's meeting, I'm pleased to highlight the key points from our 2024 annual report and financial review, both of which were shared with our membership earlier this year in April. These reports provide a comprehensive overview of how OASIS Open has performed over the past year. From the board's perspective, our most important duty is to uphold our fiduciary responsibilities to you, our members. And I'm very happy to report that, as in previous years, there has been no signs of malfeasance in the operation of the corporation. Additionally, our financial statements have undergone a thorough review by an independent and certified external auditor, and the outcome, a clear confirmation that OASIS is managed responsibly and with financial integrity. All of this is captured in the annual report, demonstrating that our organization continues to operate in a stable and transparent manner. In today's presentation, we'll take a closer look at some of those key figures. And for those who are interested to diving into the details, the full report is available on our website for your review. Let's explore some of these highlights. Next slide, please. Our membership, and I'd like to turn your attention to the breakdown, which compares our membership at the close of 2023 with the close of 2024. I'm pleased to report that OASIS saw an overall increase in membership in 2024, growing from 246 members to 262 members. This growth reflects exciting developments within the consortium, and notably we saw a significant rise in the OP sponsor members, more than doubling from 29 to 67, signaling increased engagement in our open projects. The launch of the Coalition for Secure AI, or in short COSAI, can certainly be noted as a significant OASIS open project, which brought together leading organizations to define best practices and security frameworks for the responsible development of artificial intelligence. While there were small decreases in some traditional categories, such as our TC sponsors and contributor members, these shifts are part of a broader trend in how organizations are choosing to engage with OASIS. What this tells us is that OASIS continues to adapt and drive as a global community, and our ability to attract new types of participation, whether through sponsorship or individual membership, is a clear sign of the relevance and value our consortium provides. We're excited to welcome new members and partners into our community and remain committed to growing in ways that support innovation, collaboration, and openness across industries. Let's have a look at those accomplishments of our member community in 2024. Next slide, please. So our members worked tirelessly and had a lot of dedication to continue to deliver on the different topics they have engaged with. And in 2024, we saw the approval of several key OASIS standards. Notable are the DocBook Schema version 5.2 and the popular Universal Business Language version 2.4. Another 6 committee and project specifications were approved, further enriching our standards landscape. OASIS also provides a pathway for standards into ISO and ITU, and in 2024, we saw several ISO submissions being approved as ISO standards. A couple of those accomplishments: XLIF was approved as an ISO 21720 standard, CSEF was approved as an ISO IEC 20153 standard, and our PIMRIM privacy model was built into a POM document as an ISO IEC 27561 standard. We also, or member groups also submitted the following standards, which are still in progress: STIC Syntaxi, which was resubmitted, and ODF version 1.3, which is submitted to JTC1 and is still pending standards approval within ISO IEC. While not every committee or project reached the milestone of an approved standard or specification, each one made meaningful progress towards their technical goals. Every effort brings us closer to fulfilling our shared vision. Next slide, please. I would like to show you some of the end-of-year statistics that highlight the overall value OASIS delivers to the marketplace. This slide illustrates some key indicators of this. We have 191 OASIS standards delivered to date. We have 45 active technical committees leading the charge on various fronts and 7 active open projects bringing new innovations to the table. And we have an impressive 564 committee or project specifications that drive global collaboration and interoperability. And these numbers reflect not just the work done in 2024, but the ongoing commitment of our members to create meaningful standards that serve industries worldwide. Let's go to the next slide, please. And before we move forward, I'd now like to invite our Chief Financial Officer, Kathy Mayo, to provide us with an overview of our finances. Kathy has been instrumental in ensuring the financial health of OASIS Open, and she'll walk us through the key highlights of the past year. Kathy, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Gershon, and welcome everyone. I am Kathy Mayo Figgenbaum, the Chief Financial Officer for OASIS, and I will be presenting the financial overview on behalf of Daniel Rydell, the OASIS Treasurer. Next slide, please. This slide represents a summary of the activities of OASIS. Operating support and revenues experienced a modest improvement in 2024 of 6%, or approximately $133,000, thus ending the year with just over $2.2 million. This is largely due to the commitment, continued support and participation from the OASIS community. Operating expenses significantly decreased by 17%, from $2.6 million in 2023 down to $2.2 million in 2024, a savings of approximately $450,000. As Gershon mentioned earlier, with the departure of a few long-term staff and a closely monitored spending budget, the organization's dedicated staff was able to successfully conclude the year with substantial savings. OASIS ended the year with a surplus of $45,000, which is quite an improvement compared to the deficit of $534,000 in the previous year. Next slide. OASIS's financial position, as reflected in the balance sheet, shows significant improvement. Total assets increased from $1.7 million in 2023 to $2.2 million in 2024, an overall increase of 30%, or $524,000. One notable improvement is the increase in OASIS's cash position by 29%, or roughly $369,000. Next slide, please. Some of the key factors that contributed to the success in 2024 was boosting OASIS's cash flow and extending operating cash reserves to over 8 months. Our technical committee membership renewals continue to remain strong at 79%. Open Projects significantly expanded its community, now with 14 premier sponsors and 55 general sponsors. In 2024, it also marked the launch of 2 new technical committees and 1 major open project. Next slide, please. As we look forward into 2025, OASIS continues to be a leader in the open standards and open source global market, with a forecasted revenue increase of $300,000 this year, about 13%. The organization's commitment to fostering open collaboration will help play a major role in shaping the future of the open communities. Additional funding has been allocated within the expense budget to invest in much-needed improvements to infrastructure and community resources and tooling. Achieving these goals necessitates an overspend of approximately $62,000 this year. The board and management maintain close oversight of all organizational activities to ensure ongoing support for all of OASIS's communities. Next slide, please. OASIS Open and Associates. In 2018, the OASIS Open Development Foundation was formed to host similarly focused foundations to create, promote, and support the development of open source code. The financial information of OASIS Open and these foundations was reported to members along with the OASIS annual report that was emailed to members in April of this year. If you have any questions about the information provided, please feel free to reach out to accounting@oasis-open.org. Thank you for your continued support and participation, and thank you. Back to you, Gershon.
Thank you, Kathy. That was very helpful in understanding financial standing of OASIS. Having that in mind, next slide, please. Let's move to new technical committees and open projects that were launched last year. So as you see on this slide, we have a timeline on the various new events which happened in 2024. And I'd like to take you through these interesting events. In September of 2024, the Space Automated Threat Intelligence Sharing TC kicked off, which is focused on enabling real-time automated sharing of cyber threat intelligence across the space ecosystem. In October, the COSI Open project launched 4 new technical work streams focused around software supply chain security, preparing defenders, AI risk governance, and secure agentic system design. In 2024, the Data Provenance Standard TC laid its groundwork for having its formal launch in March 2025, focusing on developing standards to capture, represent, and share the origin and history of data across systems and workflows. Very worthwhile to mention our 2 milestone anniversaries. In October 2024, the OASIS Common Alerting Protocol celebrated its 20th anniversary. Also in October last year, the OASIS MQTT standard celebrated its 25th anniversary. Interestingly enough, both of these standards are deeply embedded in our daily lives, something we don't often realize. Of course, both of these milestones were celebrated in their anniversary months, both by creators and users of those. Next slide, please. As you are probably familiar with, the OASIS has a board consisting of 11 directors, each serving a 2-year term. Every year we have board elections in which roughly half of the board seats are up for election. This year's board election closed earlier this month, and we're thrilled to welcome new voices to the OASIS board, bringing fresh energy and vision to drive our mission forward. We'd like to welcome Jason Clinton from Anthropic, Sarah Lang from EY, and Charles Frick from the Johns Hopkins University. Next slide. We also like to extend our deep appreciation for our outgoing board directors, Omar Santos from Cisco, Daniel Rydell, and Jason Kierstead, for their dedicated leadership and lasting contributions over the last couple of years to the OASIS mission. Next slide. So, as I mentioned at the start of the meeting, you're welcome to ask any questions that come to mind or suggest motions or ballots for action at this meeting by entering them in the question panel of the Zoom interface. Our staff is monitoring these and will make sure to discuss them. Before going into any questions, I will now run through the requirements to determine if we can conduct any official voting business. As you may know, our bylaws provide that voting business of the corporation can only be conducted by the voting members, which generally means OASIS members who have joined as company or institutional members. OASIS individual members are welcome, but non-voting members, according to our bylaws. Our first required task is to determine whether we have a quorum for any official voting. If quorum is present, we can go on with questions and answers, but if quorum is not present, apologies, we can go on with questions and answers, but we cannot entertain motions or ballots for actions at this meeting. Anyone with a proposed motion can call for a later meeting or ask our board of directors to run a later written remote ballot of the membership on the matter. So this meeting was called duly by notice to all members sent out on June the 23rd. Therefore, June 23rd is the record date for determining voting for this meeting. A quorum for this meeting is 1/3 of the voting members to be present here to do business. Let me take a moment to check with our staff whether or not we have quorum. Jane, can I ask you to share with me if we have reached quorum for this meeting today?
Yeah, I can confirm that quorum has not been met during this meeting.
Okay, thank you, Jane. So given the fact that we have no quorum at this point in time, we certainly can continue to discuss the matters that may come up and answer any questions, but we won't be able to adopt any resolutions today if any of those were put forward. Jane, do we have any questions for us that members would like us to answer?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. One is looking at the OASIS IT situation, it seems we are not in a good place right now. What is the plan down the road for this?
That's a very interesting question. Of course, we're aware that our systems have not been functioning in an optimal state over the last certainly year. Our systems are very much due for an upgrade because these are the ones our members use in their day-to-day interactions between their technical committees and for submitting all of their contributions to development of new specifications and standards. Unfortunately, our systems are rather complex, and it's not easy to migrate information that needs to be persistent and available to a new platform that satisfies all the requirements we currently have. We're well aware of the situation, and we have carved out the necessary plans and budget to work on this and move to a new IT situation, although it takes a bit of time getting there. We also had some internal changes with regards to management at OASIS, which also delayed a few of these developments, which is very unfortunate, we confess. But we're set to implement new changes in the months ahead and are very aware of the situation at this time. Any further questions, Jane?
I do have another. It is, so is 2025 planned with a deficit or a plus? Clarification was needed.
Kathy, can I ask you to answer this financial question?
Yes, I'm happy to. Yes, in December of 2024, the board was presented with a budget that did include an overspend or a deficit of approximately $62,000 in 2025 in order to address some much needed upgrades. Hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Jane, go ahead if you have any other questions.
Yeah, I think one more, and I'm not sure if that has to be answered at a later date, but there was a follow-up question to the IT is what is the concrete plan for those upgrades?
Okay, that's a very good question. We have a set of draft plans available to us at this point in time, which we're reviewing. Earlier this year, we invited a couple of very active technical committee chairs to help us think out and flesh out a plan for the upcoming months. We'll make sure to invite them again as we promised to them to review those plans. But indeed, the concrete plan needs to be solidified over the coming weeks. And we'll make sure to reach out more frequently and keep the membership aware of what those suggested changes and plans are for the IT infrastructure, because we recognize you use this as our main focal point for connecting with OASIS. So these systems should be top-notch and working appropriately.
And I have one more follow-up on the IT. It's how do we as members get involved in those decisions regarding the IT infrastructure?
Yeah, we also thought about this earlier this year, although we have no readily available mechanism to do this. As we experimented with, for example, in our process committee, we envision to have more regular open sessions in which we present plans or allow for Q&A around plans and ask members for their input that would be helpful to us to steer our direction. So we do very much invite member insights and their experience with those platforms to us.
And I can confirm we don't have any further questions from members at this time.
I see, if I may, Jane, one last question
I'm
coming up.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, I did just see some sneak in there. Sorry about that.
Don't worry. I saw one. It's about the staff issue, and it's being asked that around the technical committee administrator role, as we often refer to, which can be called overloaded or has a lot to do. The question is, do we get additional staff for this? We're evaluating the current load on our staff members and are trying to understand how to best even this out and make sure that in those areas where things are not up to par and where we really need additional support for staff to attract new ones and open seats for those. Jane, were there any other questions?
So, yep, I'm sorry, there is one about OCA. So what do you see the path forward for OCA in 2026? Do you envision changes?
OCA is, we're in discussion with the PGB, the program committee of OCA in terms of the activity within OCA and the different work groups there. We certainly noticed together with the PGB that there has been a drop of participation and a drop of development in terms of the different work streams. And we're trying to figure out what the best way forward is. We've had 2 or 3 meetings so far with several members of the PGB, and the next one is planned for early August, in which we're trying to find a good next path forward into working with OCA, which could be trying to revive it or any other direction that would satisfy what members of OCA would like to see. But changes are certainly needed if you would ask it directly. Go ahead, Jane.
Yep, and I think we have one final question was about how a quorum was calculated for today.
Okay. How quorum is calculated, we used the number of voting members that were registered on June 23rd. And 1/3 of those voting members are being used by our bylaws to establish if we have quorum, yes or no. So the number to achieve quorum is 54. And on the background, Jane has been reviewing the members being present at this meeting today. Jane, can I ask you the number of, well, in any case, the number of people that have joined is below 54. Jane, can you confirm how many people joined today?
Yes, that is correct. It is below. We have 29 on the call at the moment.
Okay. 29 people have joined today. So that's below 54. And we didn't flesh out if those are individuals versus institutional or corporate voting members. But the number is low enough to be able to say that we are not able to achieve quorum today. I hope that satisfies the answer. Jane, there's room for one last question, if there is one.
It looks like a logistical. It said, why couldn't we participate via browser today? So if that individual would like to contact me to give me a little bit more details, I'd be happy to answer that. I'm not quite sure in what context, so.
Okay, I think that's an interesting question. We're trying to make sure that all of our outward going correspondence is open to each and every of our members. We've used Zoom as our main means of communication and providing for webinars. If that's a hurdle for people to participate, that's certainly something to review. Yes, please, if the one that asked this question would liaise with Jane to better understand what the obstacles might have been, or has suggestions how we might be doing this differently, then we would be very eager to hear about this. All right. With having answered those questions, I would like to move to concluding the annual general meeting. I'd like to thank each of you for your participation and continued support of OASIS. Your engagement is critical to our success, and we're truly grateful to have such a dedicated and passionate community. And I think the questions that were just asked just underscore that we do have a passionate community. If you have any questions or thoughts following today's discussion, please don't hesitate to reach out to us through our usual channels, and we're always here to listen and assist. On behalf of the entire OASIS team, we look forward to serving you in 2025, and together we'll continue to drive progress, foster innovation, and create value for all of our members. Thank you again for joining us today, and with that, I officially close the meeting.